can give a contribution in our educational system. That is why the Philippine educational system was patterned from the educational system of both Spain and United States. In 1946, our country was liberalized from the oppressions of the foreign countries. Then, our educational system was radically changed and so functioned independently. Education was informal, unstructured, and devoid of methods. During pre-Spanish time, education was not that important. Children received education which was unstructured and informal. Children were provided more vocational training and less academics. Education focused on the development of skills in order to survive and to get some necessary things they needed. In fact, literacy was only based in 3 arts: reading, writing, arithmetic. The native alphabet during the time is called bye-bye. During this time, parents and tribal tutors were the ones who taught children.
Also, during this time, people believed that only men should work to provide their daily needs. That's why father taught their sons to look for food. Meanwhile, women were the ones who are responsible in household chores. So education in this period is basically preparing the children to become responsible and good parents.
The tribal tutors were replaced by Spanish missionaries. Education was religion-oriented. It was for the elite, especially in the early years of Spanish colonization. Access to education by the Filipinos was later liberalized through the enactment of the Educational Decree of 1863, which provided for the establishment of the least one primary school for boys and girls in each town under the responsibility of the municipal government, in the establishment of a normal school for male teachers under the supervision of the Jesuits. Primary instruction was free and teaching of Spanish was compulsory. Education during the period was inadequate, suppressed, and controlled. The schools maintained by Spain for more than 3 centuries were closed for the time being, but were opened on August 29, 1898 by the Secretary of Interior. The Burgos Institute in Malolos, the Military Academy of Malolos, and the Literary University of Philippines were established. A system of free and compulsory elementary education was established by the Malolos Constitution. An adequate, secularized, and free public school system during the first decade of American rule was established upon recommendation of the Schoolman Commission. Free primary instruction that trained the people for the duties of citizenship and vocation was enforced by the task. Commission for Instruction of President McKinley. Chaplains and non-commissioned officers were assigned to teach using English as the medium of instruction. A highly centralized public school system was installed in 1901 by the Philippine Commission by the virtue of Act Number 74. The implementation of this act created a heavy shortage of teachers, so the Philippine Commission authorized the Secretary of Public Instruction to bring to the Philippines 600 teachers from the United States of America. They were the Tamasites. The high school system supported by the provincial governments, special educational institution, School of Arts and Trades, an agricultural school, and commerce and marine institute were established in 1902 by the Philippine Commission. In 1908, the Philippine Legislature approved Act Number 1870, which created the University of Philippines. The Reorganization Act of 1916 provided the Philippinization of all department secretaries except the Secretary of Public Instruction. Japanese educational policies were embodied in Military Order Number 2 in 1942. The Philippine Executive Commission established the Commission of Education, Health and Public Welfare, and schools were opened in June 1942. On October 14, 1943, the Japanese-sponsored Republic created the Ministry of Education under the Japanese regime. The teaching of Tagalog, Philippine history, and character education was reserved for Filipinos. Love for work and dignity of labor was emphasized. On February 27, 1945, the Department of Instruction was made part of the Department of Public Instruction. In 1947, by the virtue of Executive Number 94, the Department of Instruction was changed to the Department of Education. Education in 1946 down to 1956. The 1935 Constitution provided certain educational objectives such as the development of moral character, personal discipline, civic conscience, vocational efficiency, and citizenship training. To carry out the constitutional mandate, a revision of the elementary curriculum was made, including the teaching of the national language obligatory, that was first offered as a subject in 1939 down to 1940 in public schools. Another development was the shortening of the elementary curriculum from 7 to 6 years in order to admit more children of school age. The Educational Magna Carta of the Philippines provided for the system of public elementary education and its matter of financing. The latter remained under the support of city government. The Philippine Educational System, 1901 to 1976. Legislation affecting basic education were passed, including the following: Commonwealth Act No. 586, an act provide for the revision of system of public and private elementary in the Philippines, including financing thereof. Commonwealth Act No. 589, an act establishing a school ritual in all public and private elementary and public secondary schools. Republic Act No. 896, an act to declare the policy on elementary education in the Philippines.
Elementary education in the year 1957 to 1982. The revised elementary education curriculum was gradually effected beginning the school year 1957 to 1958. Minimum time allotment for the elementary school curriculum.
In the revised elementary education curriculum, the vernacular was auxiliary medium of instruction in grade 1 and grade 2. Filipino and English were offered as subject. The Continuous Progression Schemes, or CPS, was implemented in the elementary during school year 1970 to 1971, but due to some misconception, it was literally construed as mass promotion. Hence, many non-readers were promoted to the next grade level. Secondary education in 1957 to 1972. One feature of 1957 to 1972 reform was offering of character education and good manners and right conduct as separate subjects in elementary and secondary curricula in all public and private schools. The 2-2 plan curriculum was considered by Swanson survey team in theory and philosophy as an advanced step in improvement of high school curriculum. Elementary education in 1983 to 2001. The result of survey of outcomes in elementary education, or SUOTELI, came out, showed that the grader across the nation has mastered only 50% of what he was expected to learn. The EAP was launched by the Bureau of Elementary Education Program in developing the communication skill of children in view of the reduction of the number of subjects and the increased time for instruction. Program for Comprehensive Elementary Education or PROCEED. The impact of the aforementioned researches paved the way for the development of a 1980 to 1990 PROCEED. The new secondary education curriculum in 1989 to 2001. The conceptualization of the NESC began in 1982 in preparation for the graduates of the new elementary school or NESC, implemented starting 1982 in grade 1. Education in 2002 to 2011. The new elementary school curriculum or NESC were replaced by the 2002 Basic Education Curriculum or BEC. The curriculum aimed empowering the Filipino learners to be capable of self-development throughout one's life and to be patriotic, benevolent, ecologically aware, and godly. 2010 Secondary Education Curriculum. The refinement of curriculum followed the Understanding by Design or UBD framework, which covers 3 stages. Stage 1, Result, Desired Outcome. Stage 2, Assessment. Stage 3, Learning, Instructional Plan.
Republic Act 10157, entitled An Act Institutionalizing the Kindergarten Education into the Basic Education System. Kindergarten is mandatory and compulsory for entrance to grade 1.
Education in 2012 to 2013. The rollout implementation of K-12 basic education curriculum for grade 1 and grade 7 shall start during school year 2012-2013. Preparation of instructional materials and teaching guides for training of trainers and regional training of grade 1 and grade 7 teachers are ongoing. It could be noted that the 12-year basic education cycle is first in the 10-point agenda of President Benigno Aquino, to wit: 1. Expansion to 12-year basic education cycle. 2. Universal preschool. 3. Madrasa education. 4. Technical vocational education in senior high schools. 5. Every child a reader by grade 1. 6. Proficiency in math and science. 7. Assistance to private schools. 8. Multilingual education. 9. Quality textbooks. 10. But not the least, the covenant with LGUs to build more schools.
According to Aldous Huxley, that the men do not learn very much from the lessons of history is the most important of all the lessons that history has to teach. We give you the historical perspective of Philippine educational system, the trace of development of Philippine educational system from pre-Spanish era to the present time. We hope that you've learned something from what we've done.